Inflation in Turkey has reached nearly 80% annually in June. That's according to official data provided by the Turkish Statistics Institute. Official being an important distinction here. Economists and ordinary Turks both say that costs have risen much faster than the government reports. Almost 80% annual inflation in June. What does this number tell us, and what does it not tell us about the cost of living in Turkey?
Well, this number, Stephen, comes from Turkey's state statistics agency, as you mentioned, and it's already an eye-popping figure. But what's striking is many Turks no longer believe the official data. They think inflation is much higher. So do opposition politicians and economists who have started to openly question the reliability of the government's figures on inflation. Today, a well-known independent research group announced that Turkey's annual inflation, in fact, rose to more than 175% in June. That's more than double the official rate. Let's listen to what people there told me.
We have problems paying our rents, our bills, and accessing healthy quality food. We're going through a huge economic crisis that shakes all of us. I have 2 children. The cheese I used to put between their school sandwiches was 20 liras last year. Now it's 84 liras. How can people who earn minimum wage still manage to pay their rents and make a living? They can't. The situation has become so painful for many of us. People are at their limits.
People at their limits. The voices of ordinary Turks there. Yulia, how do people make ends meet?
Well, I've heard all kinds of strategies, how people are trying to get by, especially those who have to survive on a minimum wage or a pension. They buy less, consume less, obsessively compare prices. They are working a second or third job. They don't travel. They don't go to restaurants anymore. So this crisis has really hit the Turkish middle class and the poor, of course, and that's devastating.
And what does the government say to this kind of reaction?
Well, President Erdogan a few days ago announced a raise of the minimum wage, about 30% to 5,500 Turkish lira a month. That's about 315 euros. But many people tell me that's not enough. It's not enough as long as Turkish President Erdogan continues his unconventional economic policy, where he stubbornly opposes any raise of the interest rate by the Turkish Central Bank. That would be the conventional way of fighting inflation. So they say raising the minimum wage to them is some kind of gift, maybe ahead of the upcoming elections. They are officially scheduled for next year. President Erdogan is running for re-election, but his popularity ratings have suffered greatly because of this economic crisis. So this might be an attempt to calm people down, but many people also tell me they no longer believe that President Erdogan is the man who can solve this crisis.
Meanwhile, in the USA, breaking news regarding US inflation. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics stated that the US June inflation report circulating on the internet Tuesday is fake, but the US June inflation report circulating on the internet Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, is totally real. Here is where the US CPI inflation has been lately, year over year, 8.5%, 8.3, then 8.6. And if you stay to the end, I will reveal the latest June 2022 numbers. I did a poll of my audience. 51% thought it would be higher this month at over 9%. If you want to receive breaking news, participate in polls, or if you like physical gold or silver, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up. So what is the difference between headline and core inflation? Both are government-produced numbers. The 8.3 and 8.6% are headline numbers. The one we're about to show is also a headline number. So it's a change in value of all the goods included in the basket. The core inflation excludes food and fuel, as these are considered more volatile. Here you can see that wholesale U.S. gasoline has doubled from under $2 in December 2021 to over $4 in early June 2022. But gasoline has dropped starting in June, in line with a drop from a peak in crude oil prices, but a drop from a peak, but not necessarily the peak. We could just as easily see a higher peak in oil prices this year, or maybe even a continued decline if we're lucky. So there's a chance that core inflation could decline and headline inflation could decline if energy costs continue to moderate, but there's a lot of signs that do not support energy prices improving. If the Turkish people doubt their government statistics, do the American people have reason to doubt their own government statistics? At least with the US government stats, they are admitting to something going wrong, so it's a starting point. Shadow Stats tracks their own shadow government statistics here in the US in 1980 and then in 1990, and maybe even this year too. The US government changed the formula or weighting of the CPI-U inflation numbers, kind of like a National League baseball team reporting their team batting average, but excluding the at-bats of any pitcher because we all know that pitchers are not great hitters. Courtesy of Shadow Stats, they show the shadow inflation rate being measurably higher than official government statistics. So if the US government is reporting 8%, the real inflation could be twice as high at 16 or even 17%. So what is the latest US inflation and what am I doing about it? Here is the latest June 2022 CPI inflation year over year. It is increasing again to a staggering 9.1%, the highest inflation in 40 years. Has it peaked? Will it continue upwards, level off, or decline? So what am I doing about it? To much of our surprise, gold and silver prices have not appreciated yet in this inflationary environment. Gold is trading recently at or near a one-year low. Silver dipped below 20 and then below $19 an ounce spot price. So both are, quote, on sale. So it's totally dependent on your household situation. Inflation is seriously cutting into household budgets that adding to savings may actually be very difficult at this time. I've bought some silver and gold in July, and I will show you what I've been buying in a future video. So hit the subscribe and bell notification so you don't miss future breaking news and gold and silver unboxings. Please give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.